So, with building on last night, yesterday we had been discussing short the Vishnu image and the symbols of Vishnu. And we went in a bit more depth of the mace. What is the significance of the mace or the scepter? And this whole concept of self-rule and mastery, as today's Murli. But we just, as a revision, what is this inner kingdom? What is this kingdom that we have to be a master of? So the king, the soul, and if the soul is sitting on the throne, it means the soul uses the divine intellect, uses the mind for truth, for wisdom, and the sanskars of truth, the sanskars of the tendencies, the inclinations, the impressions of truth will be there in an emerged way. And then that is how the sense organs will be used, experienced. So every scene that comes in front of the senses will be interpreted with the divine intellect, will be chosen, will be decided, will be analyzed with the divine intellect. And those thoughts will then come on the screen of the mind, and then feelings will be accordingly, attitude will be accordingly. But what is Ravan? In this kingdom, what is Ravan and where is Ravan?
Vices.
And where are the vices?
In mind,
Sanskars. So
sanskar, mind.
Ravan and the vices, they are, I'm so sorry, those on Zoom, they can't see. So we have drawn this. Of course, like we understand that it is not like boxes and things. The whole thing is light. But just for our understanding and our clarification, to help us understand the different aspects of consciousness, you put it in boxes. But so the divine intellect doesn't stay divine. And the mind is kind of neutral, actually. The mind is just like the stage. So whatever intellect uses the mind. So if the intellect is divine, the mind will be used like that. If the sanskars are divine, then the sanskars will bring divine thoughts in the mind. If the senses are in control, then whatever is not senses, if the intellect is in control, whatever is brought in front of the senses is judged, interpreted by the intellect in a divine way, then those thoughts and feelings will be in the mind. So the mind is like the expression form of the sanskars, of how the intellect interprets sense experiences, or whatever the intellect is holding in form of awareness. Understand that it makes sense? So the mind is kind of neutral. So who is using the mind? Is it the divine intellect using the mind, or is it the stone intellect using the mind. And sense experiences are interpreted by the level the intellect is at. So if the intellect is baby intellect, then the scenes will be interpreted with that baby intellect. Baba uses this word, no? Whatever the scenes are, they are interpreted by the intellect, and that allows then for certain thoughts. And those thoughts then again reinforce the state of the intellect. And the sanskars get created like that. And so this is why Baba's method of intervention in this kingdom is the intellect. Because as long as the intellect is stone, as long as the intellect is limited, as long as the intellect is like a monkey, as long as the intellect doesn't have the big picture, as long as the intellect is in body consciousness, awareness, then the mind will be used like that. And the sense experiences will be interpreted like that. And then those will be the sanskars.
Isn't he also working with us at the level of the subconscious by raising our original awareness through yoga?
Yeah, but awareness is here, no?
Okay.
Awareness is here.
So
yes.
nothing really happens at the subconscious level?
Yes, of course. But it starts here. It starts here. It happens all over, but it starts here. Yeah. Yeah. This is why Baba's first title is The Ocean of Knowledge. Today he says the reins of Srimad is this, and this is what will, guide the mind in the right way. What we do in yoga is you flood the mind with thoughts based on knowledge. You flood the mind with, and from those thoughts, feelings comes and experiences come. So this becomes a very rich experience. And because the intellect is using that knowledge, those sanskars emerge in yoga. Understand? So yoga of the intellect is what Baba is using the word. Nishchay buddhi, and yoga of the intellect. The intellect is focused on God, and then the mind is used for what comes from that union. Intellect focused on God, intellect focused on God's knowledge. Yeah, that will nurture this. Yeah. And awareness, how is awareness? How does awareness, because we come from a body conscious state. Where is Ravan is here? So where is Maya? Maya is at this level. Wrong understanding. Maya influence, the intellect is dull. The intellect is limited. The intellect doesn't see things clearly. Intellect becomes weaker and weaker and weaker. Maya. Confused. Yeah. And then because of that, then all these funny sanskars keep being nurtured and growing and stronger and stronger. And this as if gets completely pushed aside.
Understand the whole process. Like when we're actively using knowledge to do actions, we're actually and in connection with Baba. Are we working to like reduce Maya at that intellectual level first? Right.
Or at least Maya
Yeah.
doesn't win
Right.
at that moment. Let us take a gross example. What before there was the awareness of non-vegetarian, in my case. No? Non-vegetarian was part of the awareness. Human beings eat non-veg. I grew up non-veg. That is food. That is in the awareness here. So thoughts and feelings about food were connected with non-veg. Naturally, impressions were like that too. I used to feel sorry for vegetarians. No, truly. Truly. My parents, there was the one uncle, my parents had friends, and one person, he was vegetarian. And I used to look at him and I used to feel sorry for him. Because I used to feel that he can't eat. Not only he's not getting the right food, he can never enjoy a meal. I'm saying how my intellect was working at that time.
Correct.
Yeah, well, no, and this was I couldn't fathom the idea, not for myself, for the world. So when going to India as a medical student, we prepared everything. I studied the culture, I studied geography, I even studied some Hindi and Tamil because I was going to be there for 6 months. Everything. Only thing that I wasn't completely unaware of, that it would be a vegetarian society. It was just not part of, at that time, it wasn't. No, when I was born, it was a different situation, but those sanskars had non-veg. I'm talking before I came to Gyan. Yeah, so it was a shock. Vegetarian, of course, but so I'm telling you, it was a shock. We're trying to understand these dynamics. I'm giving this example. So this was what the awareness was. This was what the attitude was. And not because of bad. I really used to feel sorry. I used to feel he can never enjoy a good meal with us, with anyone. Yeah, well, of course, I knew about tofu and whatever. So we used to make so many special things for him with tofu, just to make him feel, in our thought, make him feel that he can have a nice meal. He was okay. There was no problem. So this was the awareness at that time. Now, what does Baba do? He gives Srimad, you be vegetarian. What you eat influences your mind, and your mind influences your body. Baba tells us, if peace is your value, then how can you deprive others from their life? Others are also souls. So many points of wisdom were presented to the intellect, and it appealed to my reasoning. Because before it was like dull, sleeping, not that you're actively against, but you just kumbhakarn. So the intellect accepts this knowledge. So what does the intellect then do? So how? What is the first action? No, first thought comes. This is right. This makes sense. Let me read a little bit more. I read a little bit more information in the intellect according to that thing. So gradually the awareness comes that not the whole world is non-veg, first of all, and that they are perfectly fine being veg. So that awareness begins to grow. And then other thoughts, socially, it is much better. Health-wise, it much better. Environmentally, it is much better. So awareness grows around the whole area. And so thought comes, I should also be like that actually. Because it is a good thing. And so thought comes, backed by the intellect, body is made to perform those actions. And so the impression in the subconsciousness becomes veg. And more you motivate yourself, more you do it, more the sanskars grow, more the intellect grows stronger in the awareness and the conviction that this is how it is. And then many other areas become strong. Your yoga becomes strong, your get up early, your concentration power increases, even health-wise things clear up. Conviction grows. You're certain now, you're sure. There's actually no other way. So this awareness is now fixed. And there's nothing or no one who can tell anything different because it is, what is it? It has gone through the laboratory of your own experiences. And it is connected. You know, feelings are there, your attitude, and you have tried. And this is why Baba says it is not a last moment transformation. Because this whole process is not last moment destruction finish. Yes, then this will be obliterated, but this will not have formed in that strong, deep way when exposed through the senses. And this is why this is not Vishnu. This happens when in the Brahmin life, and it leads to Vishnu in the Golden Age. But this has to be established now. And today was so nice. He's saying, no, this is like a wild horse. It means it doesn't have reins. It just go all over the place. It needs the reins of the intellect. But what is the quality of the intellect? And what is the quality of the sanskars that push thoughts in the mind? And also, what is the quality of your environment, the environment of the senses? Because in the Golden Age, the environment for the senses, even the external environment for the senses, is beautiful. But in the Iron Age, you need a strong intellect to interpret the sense experiences in a right way. And so if this inner kingdom is right, then it will manifest as Vishnu. And so what happens, we expose our ears every morning to Murli. And we read it, so also our eyes read. But do we interpret that what comes into the intellect as truth, as valuable, and as more important than all those Maya's programming that is there? That we are willing to put it aside. And this is why Baba says every day you have to flood your mind, you have to flood your intellect with this. Because there's so much programming, Maya's body conscious programming in the intellect from 63 births. And much of that you feel is normal. Now, I gave the example of non-veg. When Rona was born, till the age of about 5, 6, I used to spit out everything they used to give me, especially meat. I never used to want it. But they push me, they force me, they push me, they force me. Not because they are bad, but that is in their programming. They thought I will die, they thought I will be malnourished, they thought whatever. I remember one scene still from my own mind when I was 2 or so. My grandfather sat with me 2.5 hours just to feed me the plate. I never used to want it, but those sanskars changed. So soul comes with the vegetarian sanskar, or at least not not a liking of that food. But under the influence of the external environment, you surrender. And then that new awareness grows. Non-veg, that's it. Non-veg, that is normal. Mind thinks about food, thinks about recipes, whatever, sees things. Senses are exposed to that. So that becomes the new normal in the inner kingdom. And so that happened in a few years, in one lifetime. Can you imagine the programming that happened from 63 births? That is not going to just go away. And that is why destruction has to be so massive also, to be able to wipe that out. And we are lucky. Why are we lucky? Because we are getting the opportunity to shift this around now. Understand? And so the range of Srimat to get this back, to get the mind under the rule of the king again, the soul. The map of your inner kingdom. And only when we rule this with wisdom and with love and gentleness, then we are ready for golden age. And the other day, Baba said, if we continue to be battling, that is silver age level. So this Vishnu is so beautiful, no? You see him with the scepter so royal, but this is this is just the scepter. Huh? And maybe if you so inclined, like draw for yourself a map of your kingdom, and every day observe what is going on in this kingdom and what happened. And no, Ravan, at this moment in life, king is not king. Ravan is ruling this kingdom. Maya is ruling this kingdom, including the senses. And Ravan has 10 heads, 10 main big degraded sanskars. Simplify it, because when you simplify it, it becomes more easy to grasp and observe within yourself.
Sister Ona, one clarification. You just said the massive destruction has to happen, so it gets wiped out from the mind. So the question is, all the
Only
souls
mind, all those wrong beliefs held in the intellect need to be undermined.
yeah. But the people who are not in knowledge, is it getting wiped out from
Yeah.
their intellect also? Because, but if it gets wiped out, won't they also come in golden age?
Of course not.
Then is it getting wiped out?
Of
I mean,
course.
I'm just kind of not sure how that
They
wiped out
cannot
word
go
should be
home in
interpreted.
body consciousness. No, example, there is a awareness state of I am a woman, or even I am a human. Just keep that, I am a human. The general awareness is there in everyone. What does Gyan say? Your soul. So when the body is gone and you are still there, and everything and everyone you thought was mine and it created your sense of identity, nothing of that is there. Then you will realize I am not all of that. I'm still here and all of that is gone. So there will be realization. All those things, I outlive them or I out exist them. So that is not me. Yeah. Yeah. We get to experience this based on knowledge and in that loving, caring environment that Baba creates for us, inner and also yagya, physical yagya. And that love that we get from Baba as father, mother, teacher, friend, guru, in that type of environment, we are giving the fortune to experiment and to grow and to strengthen our intellect. But for the majority of souls, it will just be harsh destruction. When you listen to these out of body and near death experiences, they go through this, whatever it is, some pain or whatever, and then all of a sudden they are light in light. And they realize they are light too. Body is down there on some bed or on the ground, and I am here. When you learn through knowledge, it has a certain elegance and it doesn't have the harshness of being shocked into something. In that process, because Baba gives us service and we think, oh, we're serving the world. But, of course that happens, but he does that, I feel. But in the process of serving, this gets purified within us. And this gets solidified within us. And of course, you share with others who you are and your vibrations, your state of mind, your words. And that becomes hopefully an instrument for them to wake up. But it is actually your own growth process. Because bestowing, who benefits most from bestowing? The one who bestows. Because your sanskars of bestowing get stronger and stronger. So service, and why Baba many times tells us to serve and do this and give Baba's message. Yes, of course, everyone has a right to Baba's inheritance. But we are the ones benefiting doing that. Because our inner kingdom gets cleaned out when we are in that mode and in that mindset. And so at this moment in time, the king is this degraded sanskars are king in this kingdom. They rule. They use the mind, they influence the intellect, and then Maya, this lower ideas, lower understandings, limited understanding, they cooperate with these sanskars, and then mind and body is used for that. Yeah, but the higher sanskars have not been nurtured, so they are small and weak. These have been nurtured. And even as Brahmins, we may continue to nurture those. Yeah, yeah. We just change our dress. Yeah. Yeah, no, and even we listen to knowledge, but we don't take it in the sense of with the reason. We don't make it part of our reasoning and our observing and our interpreting and our choosing and our deciding. We just take it as knowledge. That is nice, yes, but I will die. But you cry when this or whatever. You eat non-veg. No, that is very gross. But still, it might be. There are Brahmins who occasionally still eat fish and eggs. I mean, this is not to judge, it's just to understand the internal dynamics. And so this knowledge is presented to the intellect, but depending on how we allow Maya to have credit, we allow Maya to still be the one who decides what kind of thoughts and feelings, then yeah. Okay, so yoga, or at least the sitting down yoga, has the aim to reinforce the soul smrti, the soul awareness. So any aspect of knowledge that highlights the soul and that you use in your meditation, you hold those thoughts in your mind, you allow those feelings in your mind, that awareness grows, becomes stronger. So any aspect of Gyan, and Baba is around three: soul, home, God. These things in your mind and emerge the experience of home. And home is very powerful. Baba is there and it pulls you out of the drama experiences. So in your yoga, at least in your sitting down yoga, you focus on that. So shall we do? We have 3 more minutes, 4 more minutes. So you take one aspect of knowledge, of soul, of Baba, of home. You take it and you just flood the mind with, also with the checking of how much you are sure about it. And flood your mind with that. It can be of Baba, incorporeal. And just hold that in your mind, if you can, with images, with other thoughts, but only around that theme that you chose, that will reinforce your soul identity, your soul awareness. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Trying to understand the process, like when I'm in Amrit Vela and I'm holding, let's say, the example of soul awareness. So that's awareness is being connected in the intellect, which is then holding that in the mind, the thoughts and feelings that come with that. Mm. And that's pulling up my original sanskars in the subconscious. And now in the Murli, when he says, only through yoga I can burn your sins. So how is that? Is it actually burning the wrong sanskar when I'm in that stage?
Yeah, but based on this getting stronger.
But not at the subconscious level.
Also, that influences, no, the subconscious, because even if an old sanskar pops up, the intellect is now able to stop it, because this is stronger. And after a while, it can be even at a distance. That's and ultimately the sanskar, because of the intoxication of truth here and the experience of truth here, then this almost instinctively feels alien or degraded. What before used to feel normal, maybe. No? Yeah, I understand. But this fire of yoga that burns is when there is intoxication and deep love and and fascination with it. Yeah, yeah. And then anything that doesn't resonate with that will begin to feel alien, yeah, and petty or pathetic or not me.
When you observe this Ravan Sanskar, sometimes I feel there's also an evolution in that. Like initially you feel disgust or
Yeah, yeah.
but then actually I don't know how to verbalize this, but then there becomes like a neutral, almost love. I mean, not loving the Ravan Sanskar,
but like kind of mercy and
allowing and let it be free from you. But I think there's an evolution in that.
Yeah, there comes a moment when or for at least in some sanskars, and that you kind of almost feel disgusted or that kind of a thing. Huh? There was a period, not long, but there was a period when I used to feel like that with non-veg, that it was like, but then after a while, it doesn't mean anything anymore. Yeah. I must say, sometimes with smell, it still has some connotations. Okay, Om Shanti. Yeah, not positive connotation, but like, but I remember it maybe shared one time I saw this big billboard and advertisement for a restaurant, and it was a plate and was fish on that plate. And I looked at it and I couldn't figure out what was for, because there was not even the association anymore that this is food. That has gone from the intellect. So I saw this image, and you know how they decorate the plate, but it was a whole fish and whatever. But I couldn't understand what they're trying to depict, because the program is not there. So the intellect doesn't interpret it anymore as food. And this is very interesting to experiment, because if people say, oh, but we are born for lust or whatever, it's not true. Children who are never exposed to these kind of things, they don't have those feelings. And we as Brahmins, if we are pulled out also, you don't understand it anymore. You don't interpret anything like that anymore, because it is not part of your program anymore. You can't even understand what is going on. Then that innocence comes, that pure innocence comes, that even whatever Ravan may be in front of you, but you don't understand it anymore. You don't see it. Yeah, 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 yeah. It wasn't you, it was Ravan. And Ravan was so immersed and so in power of the kingdom, so that is what came out. But it is not you. And this has such power. First of all, Ines was also saying, this is not you, it comes out and you may even feel certain feelings, but it is not you. It is Ravan's creation. Just like sometimes you have these hormonal cancers and they start producing hormones somewhere else in the body. It is not the natural nature of the body to have that cancer, and those cancer cells are doing things, but that is not naturally the nature. So this is like cancer of the soul. And it autonomously creating thoughts and feelings and sanskars and behavior. But and then Maya's power is that we start identifying with it and that we adopt it as me, and then we defend it. And we defend it saying, oh, animals also, use their teeth, violence or whatever, and as if that is the standard then for human beings. We create all kinds of reasonings to justify that behavior. But it is not you. It is you never were that. It's just the cancer has taken over. But the power of it is that we are not aware of it. The moment Baba tells you that is not you, that is not how you truly are, then it becomes a different story, no? So the ignorance is not knowing. The ignorance is not knowing that you don't know. Because in the Copper Age, we knew that we didn't know. And we were seeking. But now, in the Iron Age, people think that they're progressing. They think that everything is good. So this is depth of, height of Ravan's power. In psychiatry, this happened. No? There are certain psychiatric illnesses and certain illnesses in certain phases. The patient is aware that he's not well. But then there comes a phase that they are that they think that they are okay. And they will tell the doctor. You understand? So, and this is where then our kingdom is absolutely, fully in control of Ravan and Maya. And so Baba comes and he thinks, gosh, what happened to all of you? He kind of how to get these children out of this mess. But Judy called it, what she said, the instrument of progress. Yeah, the intellect. This is Baba's intervention in this kingdom is through the intellect. Yeah, the chemotherapy of the intellect. Okay, let's close. Om Shanti. Yeah, no, but churn on this for yourself, reflect on this. To me, it helps to make this sketch, and then every night I just fill in what are my new insights. This is my chart at the moment, the inner kingdom, like a sketch. And then every night I fill in what is my insight or my observation of the kingdom today. Court. Yeah, okay.